So let's discuss about the system databases, guys. What is the system database? How many system databases are there? What each system database will do? What are the functionalities of the system database? Okay, so let's discuss about the system databases. So how many system databases are there in SQL Server?
5, sir.
Okay, 4, 5. I'll tell you. Okay, so generally in SQL Server we have 5 system
5.
databases. In SQL Server we have 5 system databases. Okay, 1 minute. Let me open the notes. Right. Okay, done. Okay, and let me. Yes, okay, so we have 5 system databases, guys, in SQL Server. Any version, guys, any version, we have 5 system databases. Where we can see the system databases? If you go to databases, if you expand system databases, there you can see 4 databases, 4 system databases. And fifth one, as I
Resource
said,
database.
yes, resource database will be a hidden database. The fifth database is a hidden database that you cannot see in the SQL Server Management Studio. Because of security and all, Microsoft hide the database. That is the fifth system database called a resource database. So what these system databases will do? What are the uses of these system databases? In case if the system database is corrupted, can I start my SQL Server or not?
No, sir.
When you start your SQL Server, which system database will come to online first?
Master.
What are the system database IDs? What is meant by database ID? Where to check the database IDs? All these things will be discussed, guys. Okay. System databases are very important. To run that system or to run the SQL Server, we should have these system databases. As discussed, we have 5 system databases. Master is one system database, which is very critical system database. Model is the second one, MSDB is the third one, and TempDB is the fourth one. Finally, resource database is the fifth system database, guys. So what master will do? Let's discuss about the master first. We'll go one by one. What master will do? Okay, so generally what master will do, guys? Generally master contains all the SQL Server related settings and configurations. Master contains all the SQL Server related settings and configurations. Master is the first system database which will contain the SQL Server configurations. When you start the SQL Server, master database will come to online first. Master knows other system database data file locations and log file locations. Master knows other user databases data file locations and log file locations. If master is not coming online, other system databases cannot come online. If other system databases are not coming online, your SQL Server can't be online. Right? Model database paths and all will be stored in the master database. Model database path, where is that path? If you go to the properties, if you go to the file space, there you can see model database paths. Okay, here you can see the model database path. Right, this is the path. So this path will be stored in the master database. If master is not accessible, how come model will be accessible, guys? It will not be accessible, right? If the model is not accessible, then other system databases like TempDB is also not accessible. So finally your SQL Server is not accessible. SQL Server, it won't be up and running, it will be down only. Master knows other system databases data file locations and log file locations. If once master comes online, then only other system databases will come online. If all the system databases are coming online, then only your SQL Server will be online. It will be up and running. Master contains all the SQL related information, SQL configurations, the logins information, the logins, who has to access my SQL server, who can connect to my SQL server. Logins information also will be stored in the master database. Logins information also will be stored in the master database. Okay, logins information also will be stored in the master
Excuse,
database.
it is not clear.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Your voice is breaking.
Now is it
Your
clear?
voice not clear.
Now is it clear, guys? Now
Okay.
it's clear, right? Now chalo, if it is breaking,
Yeah.
just let me know. Yeah, if it is breaking, just let me know. Okay, fine. So master contains the configurations of SQL server. Master contains all the other system databases and user databases locations. Master contains all the logins information and passwords information will be stored in the master database. Each login will have one password, right? So master contains all the logins information and passwords information also will be stored in the master database. Master is very critical database. If there is no master, master simply it's a kind of a mind, guys. How brain is important for our human body, master is important for the SQL server. Without brain there is no human existence, right? In the same way, without master there is no SQL server. If master is corrupted or if master is not online, your SQL server won't be online. Clear, everyone?
1 second, repeat.
Which point you have a problem? Tell me first.
Master.
Master only. We discussed a lot of point, right? Which point you have a problem? Where you stuck? Tell me this point. If you stuck again, I cannot explain the 10 minutes, right? Where you stuck? If you tell me, then I'll explain. We discussed about master is very critical database. Master contains configuration settings and all of SQL server, right? Configuration settings means all the SQL server related settings.
Okay.
Settings, configurations. And master contains all the other system databases paths. Master knows all the other system databases paths. Path means if you go to this model database data file and log file will be stored in one location, right? That location will be stored in the master database. Master contains all the logins information and their passwords information also. If master is corrupted, your SQL server won't start. If SQL server is not starting, like generally if master is not started, other system databases can't start, right? So if other system databases are not online, so your SQL server cannot be online. Any questions here, guys? Master database. Master is, as discussed, master is a brain of the SQL server. Very simple point. Master is a brain of the SQL server. All the SQL server related information, metadata information will be stored in the master database, guys. Very critical information. Very critical database. Right? Any questions here in the master database? Any questions, any doubts, guys?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So the next system database is model database. So what model will do generally? Listen carefully, very important. I'll ask you one question. Okay, in the interviews also you'll get one question. So they will ask you some questions from the system database. How many system databases are there? What each system databases will do? They will ask. Okay, so model database. So what is the use of the model database? The name itself is saying model database. I'll give you one example. Right click new database. Okay, so here I'm giving something like batch 48. So now I didn't give initial size as 8 MB. I didn't give auto growth as 64 MB. I didn't selected any path. I didn't enable any options. I didn't selected any recovery models. Here also some recovery models are there. Some of the options are true, some of the options are false. I didn't selected anything. From where we got all these settings? Can anyone tell me? From where we got
By
all these settings?
default, while installing the SQL Server, it is inbuilt, sir.
See, while installing the SQL Server for existing databases, you will get it. But for new database, how we are getting?
No, no. A new database, it's a model database. It's a
Model
template
data
means.
contains in master
It's
data, sir.
Sorry, what is that? What is that? Paths, file name, file paths, and all you are saying, right? File paths,
no, sir. While we
No, no,
create,
not you, not you, not you, not you. Someone
okay.
answered. Someone just answered file paths and all will be stored in master data. That's okay. Fine. So from where we got all these settings? From where we got the settings, these locations, or else these settings, from where we got all these settings, all these values?
From the model.
From the
Yes.
master.
From the model.
Model, sir. From the model.
From model.
From the model or from the master?
Hello.
Yes, yes, from the model or from the master, guys?
From model.
From the model. So the
From
name
the
itself
model.
is saying yes, not from the master. Master contains, so I told you right, just now we discussed. Master
Yeah,
generally
from the
contains system configuration values only. So from the model, the name itself is saying model, role model.
Yeah.
Role model means what we have to do. We are going to inherit some properties from our role model. My father is my role model, so I am going to take some what is that, some habits from my father. Okay, so role model means we'll try to imitate that particular guy, right? So model will act as a role model for the newly created databases. If you don't believe, let me cancel this one, and you can see, right, 8 MB and all, 8 MB path and all. Let me cancel this one. I'll change the model database path, guys. I'll change the model database, okay, file sizes, not path. I'll change the model database file sizes. I'll change this to 801. I'll change this to 80. I'll click OK. Done. I can change other values also, but just to show you, just to give you an example, I'm just changing these values. Okay. Now let me create a new database. Now can you see? Now tell me from which database the new database is inheriting the properties? From your model.
The previous one.
From your model database. So all the new databases, what are all the new databases are there? All these new databases, when you are creating any new database, the settings, the values, the configurations, everything it is getting from the model database. Is it clear? If there is no model database, I cannot create new databases, guys. If there is no model database, I cannot create new database. Clear, guys? Model will act as a model for the newly created databases. All the values, okay, whatever settings are there, whatever model database settings are there, whatever configurations are there, those configurations will be carried to the newly created databases. Newly created databases will adopt the configurations of model database. That is the use of the model database. Now tell me, if my model is not working, will my SQL Server up and running, or it will be down? Model database will help you to create new databases. In case if my model is corrupted, my SQL Server will work or it won't work?
It will work, sir.
It will work.
Will work, but
Because
unable to create
if
the
our
new
master
database.
databases work, our SQL Server will work. If anything wrong with new model, I think it's related with model
New
database.
databases,
All the
right?
system database should work. Then only the server will work, no, sir.
Okay. Okay. Fine. So we'll discuss this point later. Okay. Just 1 minute. Right. Okay. So if my model is not working, will my SQL Server up and running or not? So this question will be discussed at the end of the system databases discussion. Someone said yes, it will work. Someone said no, it won't work. Okay, so we'll discuss it later. You will came to know what is the use of the model database and all, and we'll discuss about this question, okay, at the end of the system databases. Next system database is MSDB. Okay, MSDB. What this MSDB will do generally, it's a kind of the least important system database is your MSDB, guys. The least important system database is your MSDB. And compared to all the 5 system databases, you can say MSDB is the least important system database. MSDB mainly responsible for the automation. MSDB is mainly responsible for the automation. Automation means, I told you, right? For example, we want to take backup of all the databases. So what we will do, we will create one job. Why? Because we cannot take all the databases backups regularly, right? I told you in the morning also, we are managing 70,000 databases. How can we take backup of all the 70,000 databases regularly? Very difficult, right? I'll create one backup job. I'll schedule this backup job. Automatically this job will take backup of all the databases. That is called automation. Suddenly if my server is down, or suddenly if one of the database is not working, or suddenly the data file is full 90% or 100%, so I'll create some alerts and all. So automation, no need to come and check regularly what is the free space in each data file, what is the free space in each log file. No need to check, we can create one alert. So whenever the alert touches that particular condition, automatically we'll get the alert, guys. Email alert will get it. That is called automation. Automation related information will be stored in the MSDB, like jobs information will be stored in the MSDB. We have one feature called log shipping information will be stored in the MSDB. Backups information will be stored in the MSDB. Restores information will be stored in the MSDB. SSIS packages information will be stored in the MSDB. All this automation related stuff will be stored in the MSDB, guys. You can see here, you can expand the tables. You can see different tables like backup tables information, okay, and backup tables. These are log shipping tables. These are restore tables, okay. These are restore tables. You can see some restore tables and all restore tables, okay. Some SSIS package related information tables. So everything automation, especially MSDB is responsible for automation. MSDB is responsible for automation. Automation related information will be stored in the MSDB, guys. Very simple. MSDB generally it will store automation related information like jobs information, backups information, restores information, log shipping information, SSIS package information. These things will be stored in the MSDB, guys. Clear? If my MSDB is not working or if my MSDB is corrupted, any impact will be there to my SQL server? Will my SQL server up and running, guys, if my MSDB is corrupted?
No, sir.
Yes, no, maybe. Try it, guys. If MSDB is corrupted, will my SQL server up and running?
No, sir.
No. Okay, so the answer is yes. Okay, so only automation stuff won't work properly, but your SQL server will be up and running, guys. I told you, right, MSDB is the least system database in other system, and compared to other system databases, MSDB is the last one, or else it's a least important system database, guys. So in case if MSDB is corrupted or if MSDB is not working properly, automation will be affected, but not SQL server. Okay, fine. Any questions till now, please? Any questions, any doubts? Any questions, guys?
No, sir.
Guys, I need response from everyone. Is it clear till now? What master will do, what model will do, what MSDB will do?
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yes, sir.
Right, done.
Sir.
Yes, please. Yes. Okay, fine. So TempDB. Next important system database is TempDB, guys. So TempDB, okay. What exact use of TempDB I'll tell you, guys. So you are running this table, right? So you are running this table. How many records you can see here? 5 records. When you are running this condition, how many records you can see here? 1 record. What about the 4 records? In this case, you can see 5 records, or imagine 500 records or 5,000 records. In this case, you can see 1 record. Then what about other records? Where these records are stored? Are these records are deleted? Definitely
No, sir.
no.
It's temporary.
The answer is no. Definitely the records are not deleted. But where it was stored then?
Apply where condition.
Where condition we applied, chalo. So where this should be
In
stored somewhere, right?
MPD, sir.
Yes,
apply here.
yes, yes. So in TempDB, it will create temporary tables for processing. Data processing will be done in TempDB, guys. Very, very, very important system database, TempDB. All the data processing will be done in the TempDB. So now you gave one condition. So we got one record. So where this record will be stored in TempDB, temporary files, tables will be created in the temporary tables. These temporary results will be stored, guys. This is a temporary result. Why it will store in TempDB? Why? Because some other user can use the same condition, right? Why? How come again and again it is going to run the same select query? So it is going to use it. Why? Because now this is very small table. Imagine I am pulling 1 lakh records or 1 million records, right? If you are pulling, if you apply where condition on 1 million records or 10 million records, again and again if it has to apply where condition, means it is going to use lot of system resources, right? So what it will do, whenever you are running a select query or whenever you are doing a processing, data processing and all will be done in TempDB. The temporary results will be stored. This is a temporary result. Okay, so temporary results will be stored in a TempDB tables, guys. In TempDB, temp tables will be created. In temp tables, these temporary results will be stored, guys. Whatever data processing results are there, those results will be stored in the TempDB, guys. TempDB is very important. If you have enough free space in the TempDB, if you have enough free space in the TempDB, the data processing will be faster. If there is no enough free space, if there is no free space in the TempDB, then the data processing will become slow, guys. If TempDB is not configured properly, so that's why I don't know how many of you remember during installation there is a tab called TempDB tab. So you have to configure TempDB either during installation or after installation of SQL Server. Also we can configure TempDB. So there are some best practices that you have to apply on the TempDB. One minute. Right? So the data processing and all will be done in TempDB, guys. It will store the temporary results in the TempDB, whatever temporary results are there during the data processing. So those temporary results will be stored in the TempDB, guys. Okay, if you are keep on using the same select queries and all, it will keep storing. If you are using regularly, if you are using, means it will store the data in temporary in TempDB. If you are not using, means again it is going to use the same TempDB free space to other purpose, other data processing and all. So generally, if the TempDB is good, the data processing will be good. The SQL Server system will be like, the speed of the SQL Server is good. The performance of the SQL Server is good. So that's why we have to apply best settings on TempDB, so that it will improve the data processing and all. So it will improve the performance of the SQL Server, guys. Okay. So another important point with the TempDB, it is not going to store the data permanently. Master model, MSDB and all will store the data permanently, guys. But TempDB, the name itself is saying TempDB, temporary database. It won't store the data permanently, guys. It will store the data temporarily. When you restart the SQL Server, the results that are there in the TempDB will be deleted. Simply, when you restart the SQL Server, a new TempDB will be created, guys. When you restart the SQL Server, A new temp DB will be created. What is the proof? Go to the properties of the database. Check when it is created. When it was created, guys? When it was created? When it was created?
When we run the query, sir. That's one.
5:44:52 a.m. means 1 hour back, not in the morning. This is a US time, guys. This is US time. 5:44 means exactly 45 minutes back, I guess. Right? 45 minutes back is just created. Means 45 minutes back I started the SQL server. So that's why it is showing today's date. Is it clear? So another important point with the temp DB is it will create, when you restart the SQL server will create a new temp DB database. When you restart the SQL server will create a new temp DB database, guys. Okay, so let me restart the SQL server. I'll show you. So now it is showing something 5:44, right? I am going to restart the SQL server again. Even from here also I can restart it. Okay, right click, restart SQL server. Okay, so let me show you now. Let me restart it. Yes, and yes. Right, refresh it once and then check the temp DB creation date. You can see that the time will be changed. Okay, 2/19/2023 only, but the time will be 6:36 a.m. you can see, guys. Okay, just a minute, let me refresh. Right, okay, just refresh it, right? So let me start this agent, or let me refresh this agent. It is still, yeah, done. So when you go to this temp DB now, check the date and time when it was created, properties. So now when it was created, same, right? Can you see, guys? Right? And when you see the size, what is the size it is showing? 809. What is the size it is showing? 809. And how much free space is available? Some 797. I'll tell you, guys. So now tell me, when you restart the SQL server, so these are the properties. Go to the properties of the temp DB files. From where we are getting all these values? 801.8. And from where we are getting all these values? From where we are getting the path?
Model.
From model, right? From model,
Model
right?
database.
From model, right? Very good, very good. So now my question is, if model is corrupted, can I restart my SQL server? Can I start my SQL server?
No, sir.
Why? Why?
No.
Why?
If model is not, if model is corrupted, means that the same property will be applied to the temp DB, means it will, temp DB will not start. So that's why it's not work.
Very good. Very good, guys. Guys, is it clear now? Someone said yes, right? So someone said, one girl said yes, we can start the SQL server, but we cannot create new databases. The answer is, we cannot start the SQL server. Why? Why? Because whenever you restart the SQL server, a new temp DB will be created. Temp DB will be always depends on the model database. Temp DB will be always depends on the model database. If model is down, it cannot create temp DB. If temp DB cannot be created, SQL server cannot be restarted. Is it clear, guys? Everyone?
Clear.
Everyone? Is it clear, everyone? Always temp DB depends.
Yeah,
Yes,
sir.
yes, yes. Yes, someone is asking the doubt. Yes. Supraja, voice is not stable. Okay, Avinash. It will be down. It won't work. Okay. Hide. Okay, Mohanraj. What is this hide, Mohanraj? What is that hide? One minute. One minute.
Your voice is breaking.
Right, okay. Fine, guys. Okay, sorry, today my network is not good, guys. Okay, fine. Fine, now can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me? Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
good.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
done.
Yes,
So
yes.
is it clear, everyone, why I cannot start my SQL server if my model is corrupted? Everyone, is it clear, guys? If you want me to explain again, I'll explain again, guys. No issues. Do you want me to explain again? Or is it clear?
Again, it is breaking, sir.
Again, it is breaking up. Okay.
But whenever you are trying to fix it, then only it's very clear.
Okay. Now, still it is having issues. Still my
No,
audio
sir.
is
Now
having
it's
issues.
now it's clear. It's okay.
Okay, chalo. Just bear with me for 30 minutes, guys. Today I'll
Okay.
end the session very quickly. Like, okay, after like 8:30 and all, I am going to end the session for today. Okay, why? Because network is not good, right? So we are going to miss some of the important points, and also in the next weekend we'll cover those things. Okay, so I don't take extra class. I mean, like I'll take class till 8:30 only. Means for next 30 minutes I'll take the class. Chalo. So this is the use of the temp DB. See, temp DB is very important. Like how master is important, even temp DB is also important. If there is no temp DB, I cannot start the SQL server. But here, whenever you restart the SQL server, a new temp DB will be created. So when the new temp DB is created, it will always depends on the model database. So if model is accessible, you can create, or SQL server can create temp DB. If model is not accessible, SQL server cannot create a temp DB. If there is no temp DB, we cannot start the SQL server. So this is the logic behind the model database and temp database, guys. Is it clear, everyone? Chalo. So the next system database is resource database. The next system
Again
database.
disturbance.
Come on.
This is
Your
breaking.
voice not clear.
Voice not audible.
Its
Your
voice is not
voice is
audible.
breaking.
Okay. 1 minute, just 1 minute. Right now, is it clear, guys? Now?
Yes.
Yes, now it is.
Okay, fine. So I use it to roam my mobile here and there. I'm roaming around my home. So where in this?
Shanu,
Yes, please. Yes,
I have a doubt.
yes, please.
These commands were store the data in temp DB, right? Temporarily.
Not these commands. When you are doing a data processing and all, that data processing results will be stored in the temp DB.
If you refresh it, the data will gone.
No. If you restart it, then all the data will be deleted from the temp DB. Why? Because new temp DB will be created, right? Nothing will be there. A fresh temp DB you will get it.
So in that node, it will store.
Sorry, in that?
In that node DB, that data will store or not.
No. See, now for example, you worked for 1 day, or you did some data processing and all. So when you did the data processing and all, whatever temporary results are there, all the temporary data will be stored in the temp DB. So when you restart the SQL
Excuse me,
server,
sir.
yes, please.
Excuse me.
Yes.
It is not audible. Lot of disturbance. Yeah.
Can you please be in mute? Okay. Like Monica, can you please be in mute? I'll explain. Okay. Sandeep, I guess. Sandeep, I'm sorry, not you, Monica. Sandeep. Chalo. Okay, so whenever like the SQL server is up and running for 24 hours. Okay, Monica, SQL server is up and running. Imagine 24 hours. So last 24 hours, whatever data processing is there, everything will be done in TempDB. So now someone restarted the SQL server. What will happen? A new TempDB will be created, right? So whatever temporary data stored in the TempDB will be deleted completely. A fresh TempDB will be created. So nothing will be there. Again, if you are doing any data processing kind of thing, then again it will create temporary tables in the TempDB and the data processing and all will be done. Clear? The data will be stored in the TempDB until the SQL server is up and running. When you restart the SQL server, it will drop the existing TempDB. It will create a new TempDB. So everything, whatever data is there, so everything will be deleted from the TempDB. Clear?
It will automatically
Yes.
store the data, na?
No. See, what is the point of storing the data here? This is not a permanent data, right? You just applied some filters. This is just one filter. You just applied some filters. So it is not going to store the data permanently. Where it will store the data permanently? In that case, it has to delete the existing records and it has to replace the filtered data and all. It is not going to store the data permanently. TempDB cannot store the data permanently. And TempDB cannot transfer the data from TempDB to master or model or some other user database. Until the data processing is there, TempDB will store the data. Once the data processing is completed, TempDB will be cleared. Automatically TempDB will be cleared. Even though, sir, do I need to restart every time? Not required. Not required. If you are regularly using the same command, it will store the data in TempDB. That results it will store in TempDB. If you are not using, 1 minute. Okay, Sayed, I just muted you in case of any questions, let me know. Right. So if you are not using this condition regularly, this data will be automatically deleted from the TempDB. Why? Because this is just a temporary data. Why? Because the same TempDB has to be used for other data processing. Not only, see, you will do some where condition, another user will do some where condition, another user will write some data processing and maintenance data processing and also will be there. So everything will be done in TempDB only, right? So automatically, if you are using regularly, TempDB will store the data. If you are not using regularly, automatically in the, again we have a concept called LRU, MRU, least recently used, most recently used. So if you are not using that condition or that query, so after some time or after some days, the data will be deleted from the TempDB. Clear? Is it clear? Any questions, any doubts here, please?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Any other questions, guys?
I have one question.
Yes, please.
Actually, in the organization, one time came that TempDB become full.
Yes. We'll get issues. We'll get please be muted. Okay. Is that your question or anything is there?
It is my question.
Okay, done. So please be muted. So generally in the organization we'll get this issue. TempDB will be full. Okay, generally we'll get this issue. Why? Because every user, it's like a work area, guys. For all the users, TempDB is a work area. So you should have enough free space for the TempDB. So if people are using, if more people are connected to the SQL server and if they are doing lot of data processing and all the results will be stored in the TempDB properly, right? So there is a chance that your TempDB will be full regularly. So in that case, what you have to do? So generally TempDB data files, what you have to do, you have to shrink the TempDB. What you have to do, you have to shrink the TempDB. How to shrink and all, I'll tell you at the end of the course. There is a separate activity like shrinking the database and all. Now at this point you cannot understand. At the end of the course I'll show you how to. Why? Because that's a regular activity, right? I'll show you how to shrink the database, what will happen when you shrink the database and all. There is a separate class. But yes, we can shrink the TempDB. So if you shrink the TempDB, if the data is not using regularly, that data will be truncated from the TempDB. So in that way we can reuse the TempDB free space. Okay, Sandeep, clear? I'll show you how to shrink the TempDB. Don't worry.
Yes, sir. Clear.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys?
Are we gonna get notes for these?
Notes, huh? I'll share you. Don't worry, I'll share you. I guess I have
Okay.
already shared you, Krista. Please, guys, as I am sharing to multiple people at a time, it will go to spam folders. Please cross check in your spam folder, guys. Please just check it once, or trash, or bin, or promotions, or select all mail. You can see a mail. So you will get two attachments. One is with software links, another one is SqlDBA classes. So in that SqlDBA classes, almost half of the classes I have already shared with you guys. Just check
Yes,
it in
sir.
the spam once.
Yes, sir. It's there,
And
sir.
yeah, in case if it is there in the spam, open that mail. You have one option called report not as a spam. Click on that option, so it will directly go to the inbox. Okay, just check in your spam, Krista.
I have actually seen the ones you sent me already.
Might
I've
be,
seen
see,
those.
I have already shared you 1 week back itself. Just check old mails also. If not, just let me know. I'll share it again. No issues for me. Okay. Yeah, done. Any other questions, guys, till now about system databases? So whenever you restart a SQL server, a new temp DB will be created. This is very important point. Whenever you restart the SQL server, a new temp DB will be created. Okay, chalo. So next, and someone asked Mike, what is this? Install SQL Server 2019. What is this, Mike?
Oh, nothing. Just want to let the class know you share the stuff in the YouTube.
So it will be scheduled. Okay, generally classes will be scheduled. So whenever, even though I'm in the class, the classes will be uploaded automatically. Right? Fine. So let me close it. Done. Fine, guys. So let's discuss about another system database. Last system database called resource database. Okay, a resource database. I cannot see that resource database. Where we can check that resource database? Okay, so where we can see that resource database? So generally, if you want to see the paths of all the databases, we'll use one query called select star from sys.sysalt files. Select star from sys.sysalt files. If you execute, you can see generally this information will be stored in the master database. I told you, right? Master will contains all the system database data files locations and user database data files locations and log file locations. Generally this data will be stored in the master database, guys. If you see here, this is master data file and master log file, and the location is, you can see here in this column. And for tempdb data file, tempdb log file, model dev, model data file, and model log file. I have a quick question for all of you. What is meant by MS? What is MS stands for? What is the abbreviation of MS? That is your assignment. You have to tell me the answer in the next weekend, guys. What is meant by MS? Is it Microsoft? So just check it in the Google and let me know the answer. Okay, I'm giving you 1 week time. I'm very sure you don't get the answer anywhere, even though you Google it. And let me know the best answer, guys. I'll give you a gift, those who will tell the answer. Okay, what is MS stands for? MSDB, right? MS stands for. Chalo, MSDB data file, MSDB log file, Zomato data file, Zomato log file. If you go down, you can see one database called data and log. What is this? This is called your resource database. You don't see any name, right? You don't see. Generally Swiggy means Swiggy data file, Swiggy log file, Zomato data file, Zomato log file, MSDB data file, MSDB log file. So if you see here, you don't see any name, data file and log file. You can see. If you go this, if you just check this path, complete path, if you check it, you can see the file names. What is the file name, guys? MS SQL system resource.mdf, MS SQL system resource.ldf. Where these files are stored? In the C program files, Microsoft SQL Server instance root directory, MS SQL bin and folder. Let's go to here. So generally these system database data files and log files, other system databases and user databases data files and log files are stored in the MS SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server instance root directory, MS SQL. In the data folder you can see, right? You can see the data files and log files. Physical files, morning we created a data file, right, for Zomato database, right? Zomato data file and log file. These are the physical files, guys. Swiggy data file and Swiggy log file. See, without knowing this, now tell me which one is data file, which one is log file. Can anyone tell me? How to identify just by using icons, how to identify which one is data and which one is log.
There is mentioned log, it is a log file.
Okay, done. Very good answer. Now tell me which one is data file, which one is log file.
It looks like the data table is looking like a table.
Okay, very good. Okay,
The log file looks
So,
like a page.
We
very
can check
good.
with size also.
Size,
High KB.
No, see, sometimes data file will be huge in size. Why? Because data will be permanently stored in the data file, right? So generally data files will be huge in size. So the one way is using icons. If you see table icon, that is data file. If you see notepad icon, a page kind of thing icon, that is a log file, guys. Very simple. Okay. If you see table, that is a data file, and if you see a page kind of thing, that is a log file. Clear? Right? Chalo. I cannot see resource database data files and log files here. I can see master data file log file, model data file log file, MSDB data file log file, other user database data file log file, TempDB data file log file, but I cannot see resource database. For that you have to go back, go to bin n folder, and there you can see your resource database data files and log files. For the safety purpose, Microsoft differentiated these two files from your regular location to a different location, guys. Okay, so MS SQL resource database. What is this resource database? Very simple. Resource database means, so whatever you are storing the data in the master database, whatever data you are storing in the master database, the data will be stored in the master database logically. The same data will be stored in the resource database physically. Whatever data is storing in the master database, same data will be stored in the resource database also. But the difference is master will store the data logically, whereas resource will store the data physically. And resource is responsible for patching. Resource is responsible for build numbers. Actually, I can say the build number you can see here, right? This number is the build number of the resource database. Resource is responsible for the build number or patching, guys. When you are patching the SQL server, you are actually patching means applying the updates, guys. Regularly you are also doing patching in your mobile phone. If you open PhonePe, it will ask you to update the app. It will ask you to update the WhatsApp or PhonePe app or GPay app. Updating an application is called patching. Applying the updates on an application is called patching. So your resource database is responsible for patching. Your resource database will store the build number value, guys. So if you are applying patching means on SQL server means you are applying patching on resource database. The resource database version will be changed, guys. So due to these reasons, Microsoft hide this database. So that's why you cannot see the resource database generally in the management studio. You can only see the files. You cannot see the logical files in the management studio. Resource database is very important. Resource database and master databases are like wife and husband. Both are like wife and husband, guys. Okay, so whatever data you are storing in the master, the same data will be stored in the resource database. And resource database is mainly resource database is going to store the version of the SQL server. So if you are applying patchings or if you are upgrading SQL server, actually you are upgrading the resource database, guys. Okay, so it's a kind of a binary database. I can say binary related data will be stored in the resource database. Very critical database. If there is no resource database also, you cannot start the SQL server. If there is no master, if there is no model, if there is no TempDB, if there is no resource database, if any of these 4 system databases are corrupted or not online, your SQL server won't be started. Okay, clear? So what is the, generally we have IDs for every database, guys. Databases will have database IDs. Okay, table will have table IDs, logins will have login IDs. For every object in the SQL server, it will have one ID. So now can anyone tell me, when you restart the SQL server, first which system database will come to online? Can you tell me the order? when you restart the SQL server, how system databases will come to online? In which order they will come to online? First, which system database will come to online?
Master, sir.
Which
Master.
database will come to online?
Master.
Master will come to online first. Very good, excellent. Next.
Next,
Model.
model.
Next.
Next, TempDB, sir.
Tempted.
Next.
MSDB.
Next.
Resource.
It will not come online, but it will be used at return DB, sir.
See, event database also should be online, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. Very good, guys. Okay, first master will come. Okay, done. Where are you, Sandeep? I'm very curious. Where are you? Where are you? You are in room or you are in office or like where are you? I just want to know where are you?
In room, sir.
Yeah, are they your friends or what? They keep talking since beginning of the class, or is it a TV or something like that? Okay.
There.
Okay, fine. Done, no issues. Okay, chalo. So first master will come to online, guys. Then yes, you're correct. Model should come to online. Why? Because if model is not coming online, TempDB cannot come online. So generally people will be confused. First master, after master, TempDB is very important, right? So after master, TempDB will come to online. No. First master will come to online, then model will come to online. Once model is online, first master will come to online, then wife and husband you cannot separate, right? Then resource database will come to online. After that model will come to online, then your TempDB will come to online. Finally your MSDB will come to online, guys. Okay, first master, then wife, resource, then model, then TempDB. Finally your MSDB will come to online. Clear? Any questions? They will ask you, guys. They will ask you if you go for 5 years interview and all. They will ask you this question: in which order system databases will come to online? First master, then resource, then your model database, then TempDB. Finally your MSDB. So IDs, generally every database will have database IDs, guys. If you want to see the database IDs, you can see from here also. Okay, you can see master is having master database ID 1, model database ID 2, not model actually, TempDB. So if you want to see specific IDs, you can use another query, sp_help_db also you can use. Okay, sp_help_db also you can use. This is one stored procedure. You can see IDs of each database. Master ID is one, and then next important database is TempDB. Okay, and then the third database is model database. Fourth one is MSDB. I cannot see resource database. What is the ID of the resource database?
32767, sir, because this is the last database.
So where I can see the resource database ID? Here I cannot see, right?
Yeah, in that bin folder. I think.
ID. Bin folder I can see the files. I want to see the ID of the resource database. If you execute this query, okay, go down. There you can see DB ID for resource database. What is that?
This one, sir.
32767.
Yes,
I told you,
yes.
right? How many databases we can create, guys, in one SQL server? How many databases we can create?
32,767.
Okay, right? How many files we can add for a database? How many files? And I guess I asked you one question, right? How we got 32,767? 2 to the power, I gave you hint also. 2 to the power of how much is equal to 32,767?
81.
2 to the power of
181 minus 1.
Sorry, 2 to the power of
2 to the power of 181.01.
181.01 is there, 2 to the power of 181.01. I never had in the power also we have points, Are you sure?
181, sir.
181 only, na? 50, na?
2 to the power of 181 equal to 30.
Minus 1, na? Minus 1. Who said minus 1? 2 to the power of minus 1, na?
Yeah, 2 to the power of 181.
2 to the power of 181 only. Monica, you are very sure. Two to the power of, how we got 32,767. Let's check in the Google, guys. Okay, let's check in the Google. 2 to the power of 181, how much? Two to the power of 181. What is this value? Something value we got. 2 to the power of 16. 2 to the power of 2 to the power of 2 to the power of when we are using 16, we are getting 65,000, right? How much?
Power of 15?
15, huh? Right. 15.
2 to the power of 14 plus 1, sir, I think.
Yes. Right? No, someone said 181, something like that. 181 means I'm getting an echo, guys. Please be muted. Right? Fine. So database IDs, generally master ID is 1. Then after master, your TempDB is very critical database. So TempDB ID is 2. They will ask you in the interview what are the IDs of system databases. Then see, while starting the system databases, first master, then resource, then model, then TempDB, then MSDB. But the IDs are different. As per criticality, they gave the IDs. Master ID is 1. Next important critical database is TempDB. So TempDB ID is 2. Next important one is 3, model database. Then next important one is 4. And finally resource database ID is 32,767, guys. Okay, so these are the IDs of the system databases. Okay, chalo, any questions, any doubts, guys? I'm going to stop it now. Why? Because my internet is not good. I'm getting some issues and all. So if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll stop it now. So in the next class, I'm going to start patching, how to patch SQL Server, how many updates are there, how many types of updates are there. Okay, so these things will be discussed in the next weekend. Saturday morning 7 a.m. IST. For US people, it will be Friday evening 8:30, I guess. Okay, fine.
And gift also, sir, for that observation of the MS for MSDB.
One more assignment, guys. What is the abbreviation of MS in the MSDB?
How much cost the gift, sir?
How much?
Cost gift.
Cost. I'll tell you. Why, you got the answer or what? Huh?
Yes, the answer.
What is the answer? Tell me then. What is the answer? Tell me.
Sometimes.
Tell me what is the answer?
I don't know actually, but
it is MSDB, right?
MSDB.
Main storage database, is it correct?
No.
No, sir, I also searched for that. Actually, I didn't get proper observations. Then I'm getting confused.
Yeah. So tell me, guys. Okay, now, not now. So take your time. I'll give 1 week time. Let me know the answer by next weekend. Okay. What is MS stands for in the MSDB? Chalo. Any questions? Any doubts?
Sir, I have one question.
Yes, please.
Only model system DB is not affected SQL Server, right?
Only model?
We discussed the system database, right?
If model is corrupted, you're asking if model is corrupted, it is not going to affect my SQL Server?
Yes.
No. We have already discussed it. Guys, tell me the answer. If my model is corrupted, is it going to affect my SQL Server or not?
It will affect, sir. It will not start, sir, actually.
Yes, it
So
will.
all the system database should work.
What is the? I didn't get your question, Shruti. Your voice is
All the system database should work. Then only the SQL Server will start.
correct. All the system databases should be up and running, especially master, model, tempdb should be up and running. MSDB is optional, no issues. Your SQL Server will be up and running. But if master or model or model tempdb, if these databases are or any of these databases are not working properly, your SQL Server won't be up and running.
So MSDB, if it is not working, also fine.
That's what MSDB is not working. This one automation related things won't work properly, but your SQL Server will be up and running, no issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got MSDB and model.
Yeah.
Can you repeat that database ID?
Database IDs, database
Yeah.
IDs generally, as per the priority of the database, SQL Server allocates IDs to each and every database. Master is a critical database, right? So master ID is 1. Okay. Then after master, very critical database is your tempdb. Okay. So after master, the next critical database is your tempdb. So they gave tempdb, for tempdb they gave ID 2. After that, model is another critical database, so they gave 3.
Okay.
And then finally MSDB 4. If you want to remember master, you can remember, right? It is very critical, so 1. MSDB 4 letters are there, MSDB, so master, MSDB ID is 4. After that, master and model, both will come in sequential order. So if MSDB is 4, next model DB is 3. Okay, then finally the left one is tempdb is 2. And other user databases will start from 5. I created Zomato first, so it allocated 5. Then I created Swiggy, then it allocated 6. If I create one more database, it will allocate 7. Like that, it will keep allocating till 32,766. Why? Because 767 is already allocated to the resource database. Okay.
Okay.
Done. Chalo guys, that's it for now. This recording will be uploaded by tomorrow. Okay, so once I got the network, I'm going to upload the recordings, and I'm left with only one recording, I guess, today's morning recordings. Remaining all are uploaded. Okay, so just check it in our YouTube channel under batch 48. You can see. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
After restart the system, what is the order of the databases? Can you repeat that again?
Okay, done. So when you restart the SQL Server, first master will come online. Why? Because master only knows other system databases paths and all. So if master comes online, then only other system databases will come online. So immediately first master will come online, guys. Next, model should come online. Why? Because based on the model only tempdb will be created, right? So after master, and of course our husband and wife will come at a time. So master and resource database, first it will come online, then your model will come online, then based on the model your tempdb will come online, finally your MSDB will come online. After that, user databases will come online.
Thank you, sir.
Fitting master.
Any other questions, guys? Any other questions, guys?
No, sir.
No questions. Chalo then. Fine, guys. Okay, that's it for now. The next weekend we'll discuss about the patching. Very interesting topic. You love the topic, guys. It's good topic, believe me. So regularly we'll do patchings in the organization. You should know the topic. Okay, so we'll be discussing the next weekend. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Good night, sir.
Yeah. Good night.
Good night.
Yeah.
Thank you.